What's the purpose behind the marketing plan? You excite, you educate, experience, and engage. Let's do this, right? Let's do this and let's have fun with it too. To my first-time listeners, thank you for joining the show. I appreciate you being here. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Marketing with In-Depth Podcast, where I'm your host, Nathan Webster, and I'm excited to chop it up with you today. Today, for episode 230, we're going to talk about the top of the funnel and how social media tactics are not a strategy, and how social media strategy are not tactics. They're different, and I'm going to tell you why, but it's going to be a very high level, quick conversation of what this is. I'm going to provide some examples so that you can understand moving forward of like how I've learned it, and I'm not perfect. I'm not the know-it-all. If you have a marketing person, go talk to them. I'm not saying I'm your guy, okay? Find your guy, find your gal to figure out how to move forward in this new era of business, because y'all, it's not stopping. And if you are not on the it's going to cost you big to suffer these dire consequences of not knowing about social media management. All right, so before I get started, for all my first-time listeners, thank you for joining the show for the very first time. You could have gone anywhere, and I know you have better things to do than just to listen to me. So for you worldwide listeners that have continued to rock with me, my loyal fans, thank you very much for rocking with me once again. For both groups, if you love this show, if you had any sort of insight, takeaway, please follow by subscribing, sharing, reviewing, commenting on the show. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions, hit me up at info@nwebsterllc.com. Thank you again for tuning into the show. So let's get started. All right. So I'm going to share with you a couple of things that I think is really important to understand. That pre-pandemic, social media was optional. Being digital, optional. Having to communicate via digital, optional. Which, what am I saying? What am I saying, right? You're like, I'm about to go into it, but I want to make sure, like, right? You may not have social media. You may not believe in it. Digital, you may not believe it. And social and anything digital is like, okay. So what am I saying here? Here is the big deal. We have gone from definitely in person to now possibly definitely digital. A lot of folks have, and including me, grown up in a generation or have some sort of desire to just do business face-to-face, in person. Totally makes sense. That's how a lot of things are going to be. It's not changing. But for the very most part, everything's going digital in some way, shape, or form, or have a hybrid option. So I wanted to share with you a couple of things that I thought was very important. And here's where I'm going to share my screen so you can take a look at it. And so from here, I'm going to share with you my note, if you will, from my device. And I'm going to go to a couple of things, okay? So in this episode 230, right here, as you see, I'm going to share with you this website that's going to talk about how many monthly active users. And this is just a screenshot. This is a image that I grabbed from a a workshop I was on or I was at, and I was like, oh, super important because we're talking about funnels, and you see social media is right down there. And then we got an email from Neil Patel, one of the guys I listen to. He's very accomplished. If you don't know about him, you should know about him. But we're going to talk about a little bit of when it comes to brand loyalty, when we talk about especially customer lifetime value, what you should be thinking about. And last but not least, I just want to get into the Forbes top creators list. So what's important for me with this is that when we are talking about these things, again, I might not be your person because marketing is an investment. Some of your personal demons are your business obstacles. So you may need someone to talk to, both your personal demons and your business obstacles. I may be that guy. I may not be your guy. But find someone to help you, because you're going to be focused on the things that you know work, the things that are really important to you. So these are the things that are important that you need to execute, but first plan. That's why I say strategy. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen, because I think it's super important that we kind of get into some reasons why, not all the reasons, right? Very high level. I want to get into the reasons why I want you to understand why this is important. So here I go. Here I'm sharing my screen. So for those that are not watching, please go to YouTube, go check it out. If you haven't already gone to our website, Let's Talk Marketing Podcast with End Up, I'll put it on the show notes so you can just go to it. So back in April 2024, earlier this year, which was only like 5 months ago, I think you pronounced her name Tamilor. I'm not quite sure. She put together 23 top social media sites for you to consider for this year. And she said, not for your company, right? She didn't say organization. She didn't say for your marketing team. She didn't say for your product. She said for your brand. Now, there's so many reasons we can dissect that, but I don't have the time to dissect it. But I think it's important to understand that what she says right here in the very opening sentence, if this doesn't get you, then I'm like, ooh, because she says, whether you're a seasoned marketer or a social media marketer or a business owner who wants to leverage the enormous power of social, it is helpful to know about the most popular social media platforms out there right now. This will allow you to maximize your brand reach. Let me say that again. This will allow you to maximize your brand reach. I say that one more time. Brand reach, engage with the right people, and nail your social media marketing strategy. At no point did she talk about tactics, okay? This is something that's really important. Now, I'm just going to jump to Facebook here. I'm sorry. I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm not going to insult your intelligence. I'm going to put this link in the show notes, but y'all got me excited, so I just want to jump right to it. But she says that the way you look at this is monthly active users. When you see the MAU, and then she's going to be talking about the ROI, return on investment. So you might not use MAU on a regular basis or ROI, but you should. Just letting you know you should. So as I'm looking at my screen here, hopefully you are looking at it too. Facebook is the largest social networking site with over 3 billion people using it monthly, according to Statista. Okay. Means 37% of the world. All right. Now she goes on to say 200 million businesses, mostly small businesses, use Facebook tools, and then 7 million advertisers. 7 million. Okay. Now, if you look to the right, you're going to see that you have if you just go in order right here, it has all, like, here you go. Spoiler alert. Here's where you have all the 24 applications that she was talking about, starting with Facebook. Number 2 is WhatsApp. 3 is YouTube. 4 is Instagram. 5 is WeChat. Now, we didn't get to number 6, which is TikTok. Okay. I'm going to get there, and I'm just going to jump, okay? I'm not going to go down in order, but I wanted you to follow along with me and let me just stop sharing my screen real fast, because I want to look at you when I'm saying this. When it comes to understanding what platform you're going to be on, it's really, truly significant that, well, I'm sorry, let me not mince my words here. It's super duper extraordinary, how you want to say it, important that you engage on those platforms, that you're just not there to exploit or use those platforms because those platforms are not going to work for you. If you're on those platforms posting, you should be also engaging, which means you're liking, you're commenting, and you are browsing or scrolling, however you want to say it. Desktop is browsing. On your mobile, you're scrolling. So you should be showing that you're active on there. So say that again, Nathan. Let me repeat this in most simplistic ways as possible. The most simplistic way as possible. Okay, please be active on these sites. And I'm trying to make it serious for you, but I also want to be lighthearted with it because it is a lot of work and it's intense, and you're gonna see things you may not want to. It is oh my God, social media is a distraction if you're struggling. Let's just keep it real. If you're struggling in your business, if you're struggling in your personal life, you got the doom scroll. What is doom scroll? Where you're just scrolling and it's nothing that you really want to see, but you're hoping for that maybe one thing that you see, but guess what? You're not going to see it is doom scrolling because it gets worse and worse and worse. So when you're being active, back to the original point, when you're being active on these sites, be very careful of how you go about doing this because every platform has its own algorithm, and do not get sucked in to this algorithm. So let me keep going because I have several more sites that I wanted to show you. But before I do, I just want to make sure that I tell you, please don't get caught up in basically, the bad stuff. So let me just share with you a couple more things from this Buffer article. I'm just going to go down to YouTube because that's super important. YouTube is, we know, a Google thing, and people watch billions and billions of hours go into people watching YouTube versus say cable TV. That's why it's important. That's why I wanted to mention it. But on here, to help your videos get discovered by more people, we recommend you reading up on YouTube SEO and the YouTube algorithm. I'm just going to jump down now to Instagram, then TikTok. Same thing here. You can do a lot of things on Instagram, but you got to need to know the algorithm and check out the guide to help you on the Instagram. There is a how-to way to do that. Again, you can do it. It's not the best time, but if you hire someone, I don't have to be the one you hire, but maybe it might be a good fit. I would love to work with you, but go hire someone. Good God. Don't do this on your own because it's a lot of work. All right, so let me go to TikTok real fast so I can move on to the next thing. Now, TikTok is, okay, I'm just going to say, so it is the fastest growing social media app out there. And who knows, we're in late 2024. Who knows what's going to happen in 2025 because there's a block trying to come to TikTok to be in the United States. But I do want you to understand that their TikTok algorithm is about engagement, and you do want to make sure that you follow along with it so that you, as in the guide, so you know what you're doing. Because if you don't capitalize on it correctly, then you're going to be lost in the sauce and don't want to. And I shouldn't say you're going to be not lost in the sauce. It's just not going to be enjoyable. So you're going to be like, this is not as fun as I thought it was going to be, which, look, I totally get it. I get sometimes annoyed, and it's like, man, this really sucks. So what's important, what I want to jump to is, again, this is a high level. I want to get to that image that I was trying to show you from the very beginning in my notes, and I'm going to it now. So if you haven't gone and seen this on YouTube or maybe Instagram, I might put it there. This was from Michelle from Paid Media Pros from SEMPDX. I talked about it in my show a couple of episodes ago, I think 228. And you see here's the channel we talk about, AIDA, kind of build awareness, interest, desire to action. Everyone does their funnels differently. This is why I say, hey, look, you can do it the way you want to in your MarTech stack. But she says right here, like in prospecting, you have your social media engagers which you say, hopefully the goal as you target call to action, and you probably exclude them. She says right here, exclusion. Engagers to content, come back to here, the content to help lead them to the promised land, to be the customer. Social media engagers do matter because you have content converters that she didn't go real in depth into this, but I wanted to show you how even your customers that you may, as a prospecting, may come from a social media where you don't have to play and engage with them. I say play and engage, but this is where it's important for you to understand that when it comes to social media, you may not have to work as hard because you may have already developed that relationship. And so social media allows you to build that relationship, which is why it's a tactic. But if it's your strategy to build those tactics to strengthen that relationship in that, not a push, but a pull, then do that. Oh my gosh, you want to do that. In my opinion, that's me. That's how I work my business. But it doesn't have to. It doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. So let me just quickly jump to the next one. Oh, I'm so excited about this, y'all, because this is where a lot of people don't really take this serious. Okay. So Neil Patel says in this email right here, and I read it to you verbatim, not all of it. He says 59% of consumers in the U.S. say that once they're loyal to a brand, they're loyal to it for life. And that's according to a survey by, I think it's Acquia. Plus, loyal customers are more likely to spend more money with you and more likely to suggest your brand to others. And then he goes into to say, here's how to build brand loyalty with digital marketing. Now, I think this is really important because before the pandemic, a lot of folks did not want to focus on social media or digital media or just being digital, period. Okay. Now, you can be on a website, which have your own website. You can be on a social media platform. You can use other platforms, like say YouTube is considered social media in one aspect. It's considered digital in another aspect, but it is media content people consume that unfortunately you don't know that how it's really done, like how the sauce is made, nor do you own it after you give them it. That becomes really hard. So when it comes to people becoming loyal to your brand, everything is about analyzing and understanding your data, because you can't really do that much without data. So your strategy should start with understanding your own data so you can create that pipeline to get those customers as you prospect and find out where in the customer journey they are going to come to you. Okay. It may not be immediately. It may not be in 3 months. It took me 3 years to earn one customer, and I'm glad I did earn them because they've been a great customer. That client is phenomenal. But I tell you, it took 3 years to earn them. There's other clients like that I can speak to. The last thing I want to show you, and again, I'll include some of these in the screen, in the show notes, and I'm thinking about writing a blog about this too, or putting this to a blog, is I'm going to show you, and let me see, do I have it up? Nope, I don't have it up, so let me pull it up. These are the people that take their social media seriously. And these are the top, as Forbes would categorize them, as the top creators in the industry because of how much money they make. Maybe not everyone would agree with me, and that's fine. You don't have to. And I'm not saying I know it all. Again, remember what I say. I don't know everything. But what I do know is that when it comes to people that are making money on this, man, like, it's like, talk about residual income, like it's money in the bank. So Forbes put together this list. Oh, let me go ahead and share my screen. Oh, it is. Okay, here we go. Forbes put together this list that, is it going to load? Is it going to load? So their splash screen right here is kind of, there you go. As you can see, I'm trying to, it's taking a minute to load. There's a lot on the screen. Let me bring it up and see if I can help it a little bit. There we go. I wasn't on the screen. My bad. So here's where they're calling this the creator economy. I'm not going to say go out and look for other creators, but you can find other creators. But here's the top, I think they have 25 here, folks that are creators. And you got Mr. One here. And I'm not going to go into it too much because I ran out of time, but I want you to see that their earnings is 85. They do a score, and they talk about what is that? What is that? Where did they go? See, here we go. The 50 social media stars using the massive reach and loyal fans. but they do it by earnings, follow counts, engagement rates, and entrepreneur activities of thousands of internet personalities. So I do want you to see that they are using an entrepreneurship score and engagement. So this cat's earning 85 million with 503 million followers. But when you go to here, half the guy, he's 45, 120 million, right? That's a big difference in making half. So, and yet he doesn't have half the followers. Engagement is 2.38. His engagement is 0.33. But the score of entrepreneurship is the same. This is a guy that he, again, here's 3%, 3 for score, right? But I would say like he has, where is he at? He has 100,000 square foot LA studio and a team of 150 people. Okay. So that 0.33% versus, I don't know how many people he has, but he has 50 million in earnings, more than number 2, right? But go back to number 1. Whoops, I passed it. Over 500 million followers, but yet Matt only has 30. Number 3 has 30. Number 2 has 120 million. And then when I go to number 4, 213 million, $23 million and score a 4 for entrepreneurship, but 0.27 for engagement. So again, I'll put this in the show notes as you want to look at it for yourself, but the entrepreneurship score is real. And it's real for the very fact that you can't play around when it comes to working that strategy 100%. You may not have all those followers. You may not have all that engagement. You may not have the staff for it, but you do have to know what you're doing. So this is where these people are not just like doing it haphazardly or just not putting any thought into it. They're building truly a strategy because there's money behind it. So this is where I say like social media is not just a tactic. It should be a part of your larger of your plan, of your business plan, but it shouldn't be the end all be all unless it's the only way. Okay. I see a lot of folks doing things on social media, as I've done some of their social media management, not their in particular, but others. And I'm like, one thing you got to be is consistent. Oh man, I won't even go into it because I'm out of time. I'm over my 20 minutes, but I want you to understand that when it comes to social media as a tactical strategy, you need to understand how it can work on your behalf. And if you have no one to set you straight, please come and talk to me. Again, I'm at info@nwebster@llc.com. Go check out those articles I put in the show notes. I will write a quick blog about this. So maybe it might not be quick. It might be a little bit long because I do have a lot to say on this. And it's exciting to see how social media is growing. At the same time, there's another part of me that's like, man, this is a lot of work because social media has no rules. There is no guide. There is no book. Like the algorithm, the Thanos snap, as I forget what's his name, ClickFunnels founder, he said the Thanos snap. We all know in the industry, I heard it from him first, where I'm just like, man, it's hard to keep up with all the platforms. So don't think like, oh yeah, like I said, I'm gonna do your social media management. I'm gonna be working with a team of people because it's hard. Because look, sorry, I messed up the desk. Only got one. Oh, no, actually, I got more than one phone, but it requires one person to go like this versus a dashboard. You can use dashboard, you can do other things, but please take your social media seriously because you can earn a lot of money on there, as you just saw. And I know this is my first time really going into that, but I'm going to come back to the thing that I haven't really discussed, but I have in other podcasts is social media is the top of the funnel. You still got the middle and you still got the bottom. So in your social media strategy for your top of the funnel, you should have other activities to get people to want to learn more. If you're not getting people to want to learn more, then your top of the funnel is broken and you need to fix it. And there are ways that you can go and learn how to get your funnel fixed at the top of the funnel because you have those guides of how to use those platforms. But again, if you need help, make sure you reach out to someone that knows what they're doing so they can help you, so you can focus on your value proposition rather than becoming a marketer, which is a whole nother ball of wax you don't want to get into. So with that, I wish you nothing but the best in this endeavor. And so until next time, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And I wish you nothing but the best. So dream big and Godspeed. I'm out. Hey, if you're hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode. And for that, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And we hope you enjoyed this new episode. And if you did, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Please share this episode with others that may be interested in this topic. And also, feel free to let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future episodes. Get in touch in the comments or social media networks. See you next week for the next episode.